Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. And welcome back to Balancing Unhinged with Amber Shah. My name is Amber Shah. I'm the Shah of St. Augustine, and I'm living the dream here on Balancing Unhinged, the podcast where we explore the dynamic world of St. Augustine, the crazy world of adulting, real estate, financial wellness, the 8 dimensions of Samsa's dimensions of wellness, living life to the fullest, and just enjoying ourselves. I'm your host, Amber Shah, and I would love to talk to you today about a crucial topic for anyone who's considering buying a home: financial planning for home buyers. Right now, a lot of America is fucked. Let's admit it. But let's dive into how you could set yourself up for success if you're willing to be a little bit flexible. All right. So first up is budgeting. The power of budgeting. A well-structured budget is the cornerstone of your home buying journey. Start by calculating your monthly income and your expenses. How much do you make per month and how much do you spend? To do this effectively, I recommend that you use a budgeting app like Mint or YNAB called You Need a Budget. You can use those to track your spending, or you could put together an Excel spreadsheet, or you could write it down in a notebook. This will give you a clear overview of where your money's going. And specifically, you want to aim to allocate no more than 28% of your gross monthly income on housing costs. So like your housing costs, including your mortgage, rent, property taxes, insurance. For example, if your monthly income is like $5,000 a month, your target for housing costs should be around $1,400. So if you could do that, that would be great. Honestly, everything around here really goes for over around $2,000 per month. So I don't even know how you'd be able to do that. But that is a rule of thumb. And then creating categories for your expenses. So you want to categorize them so that you know where your money's going. So you've got housing expenses, which would be your mortgage, rent, taxes, insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, all that good stuff. And then utilities, groceries. So your utilities would be like your water, power, cable, groceries, entertainment, food, and savings. So you want to allocate an amount of money to put into your savings. You want to schedule that for yourself. It's just like self-care. Savings is self-care. You have to schedule that in. It's not whatever is left I'm going to do. You know, it's I'm going to put X amount of dollars into my savings X number of times, X times a year, right? So this will help you identify areas where you can cut back. Maybe you could reduce dining out or limit impulse purchases to free up additional funds for your home savings. You know, and for me, having kids, it's got to be the hardest thing because I don't want to take the kids anywhere because every time I take them somewhere, it's going to cost extra money. You know, if I want to go to Target to pick up a birthday present for one of their friends that I'm only spending maybe $15, $20 on one of their random classmates or whatever, and then I take the kid with me, they want to get a snack, maybe a toy for themselves, they're all butthurt because they have to buy a toy for their fucking friend. It's fucking annoying. Just don't take them. And I know that's hard because obviously there are some of us that don't have a choice. You know, sometimes when you're on only parent on duty or whatever, that makes sense. But it's hard. You've got to stick to your guns, and then you do it to yourself too. I remember actually watching a video. It was really funny because this family of 3, where it looked like the wife was driving, the husband was in the passenger seat, and then the little toddler girl maybe was in the back seat. And then the mother goes to Starbucks. She orders herself a coffee. And the baby is in the back seat and says, I want a cake pop or cookie or some shit. And the mom goes, no, we have cookies at home. And then the daughter goes, well, we have coffee at home. And then they just both start laughing. Haha. So then they order her a cookie. Yeah, great job spending an additional $3. I hope that you have that. You know, that's cool. But anyways, hopefully they already have a house or whatever. But impulse purchases are really the worst. And unfortunately, I used to work in retail and they do that shit on purpose. They know that people are willing to drop an extra $5, an extra $2, whatever. It's not that big of a deal, is it? Not when you're not doing it every fucking day, 3 times a day. Anyways, so just make sure that you're honest with yourself. I actually saw a hypnotist a long time ago about late night eating, and I talk about this all the time because it was all about honesty. So I had a hypnotist session about trying not to eat late at night, and the whole thing turned into being honest with yourself. Because, so say for example, if you go, yeah, I'm going to spend that $2 on that thing today at the gas station for my kid or whatever, or, well, let's just say it's for yourself. Let's not even go ahead and neglect kids or whatever. Anyways, let the kid have the $2 thing. Who cares? But for yourself, you really have to identify and assess your financial health, because understanding your financial situation is crucial before you start house hunting. You have to be honest with yourself. Begin by checking your credit score. Your credit score number will significantly impact your mortgage options and interest rates. And this is so true because even your credit score can impact the amount that you're going to pay monthly on your mortgage when all those things are put together. So if you have bad credit versus somebody who has good credit, buying the same price point of house, you'll get like different interest rates and all that. So then somebody with lower credit score is going to end up paying more over the 30-year life of the loan. All right. So like I just closed on a house for a customer, and the house was around, I think, $360,000. And when I was looking at that mortgage schedule at the closing table, we saw the closing sheet and it had the schedule of payments. It said that over the end of the life of the loan in 30 years on that house that they're buying for $360,000, with all the interest that they're going to pay on top of that, it's going to cost them like almost $850,000 or more. I can't remember the number. But it was over $800,000 for that house that they're going to be paying at the end of the day. And they had good credit. So you can check your credit score by using free websites like Credit Karma or annualcreditreport.com. If your credit score is above 740, you can usually qualify for the best rates. But anything under 620 can really limit your choices. For example, I actually had a family of 4 and they wanted to buy a house. So it was the parents wanting to buy a new house for themselves, right? And their kids were with them. They had 2 daughters that were going to move with them. Their daughters were adults. The 21-year-old daughter was the youngest one. And then I think the other one might have been 28. But the 28-year-old was severely disabled, okay? So she couldn't work. She qualified for disability, all that. Meanwhile, the parents had credit scores that were below, we'll say 550. I don't even want to tell you the number. It was like way worse. One of them was below 500 and the other one was below 550. So anything lower than 620 is gonna show the mortgage company that it's not a really great credit score. Because if your credit score needs improvement, what you want to do is you want to focus on 3 key strategies. You want to pay down your debts. And then we actually were just talking about this in another episode where I had Greg Morris come in. He's a mortgage guy, and we were talking about some strategies. So he was saying, and we were saying, so pay down your debts. Like, don't worry about like your car so much, because you can always get your car repoed. It's not that big of a deal, like credit wise. And I got my car repoed once. So I'm telling you right now, like you can rebuild. All right. Just focus on the rebuild. So, but you do want to pay down debts. So like start by paying off high interest credit cards. You don't want to do debt consolidation programs really, because those negatively affect your credit because, and I believe Greg was telling me about this, that what happens with these debt consolidation programs is they will be a company that'll say, hey, I'm going to take care of all 6 of your credit cards or something that you have so many credit cards. And then what they do is they go to that credit card company and then they They settle your debt with the credit card company for you, but they do it in a way that really negatively impacts your credit. And it looks a lot, now I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember the name of the word that I'm trying to think of. Like abandonment, right? So, but that's not the word that I'm thinking about. But anyways, make your payments on time. You always want to make your payments on time. I had another lady on my YouTube channel that was another mortgage lady, and she was saying the worst thing you can do is make late payments. So even if you can pay the minimum, you still want to pay the minimum on time so that you're not late, because late payments will get flagged on your credit negatively. So you can always set up reminders or automated payments to ensure that you never miss your due date, and pay attention to your calendar. I actually recently got this thing called the Skylight, and it's a digital calendar that goes like up on the wall. And what I love about it is that you can upload photos onto it. So then when you're not using the calendar, it's a digital photo frame. And that's called Skylight. And that's cool because then all the people in my family can put our calendars into that calendar and they can sync up together. But you also want to keep old accounts open. For example, I have a credit card through a bank up in Massachusetts that I opened a long time ago, maybe like 15 or 20 years ago when I was in my mid to late 20s or whatever. But I keep wanting to close the card because I don't use it very much, but I keep being told to keep your oldest accounts open because the length of your credit history can make a good difference. If you have credit cards that you don't use, just consider keeping them open anyways to maintain a longer credit history. Oh, and going back, I was with this family of 4. The parents had such crappy credit, so bad. Oh my God. But the 28-year-old daughter was on disability. She had no credit at all. And then the 21-year-old daughter also kind of had no credit. But she did have some credit somehow for some reason. So she must have had like one credit card or something. So then she was able to qualify for a USDA loan, and we were able to get her USDA loan. So then they were able to get a house in Satsuma, Florida. We found them a house that was originally listed for $225,000. It was a decent house. It needed a little bit of help, but it was definitely livable. Absolutely fine. Good house. $225,000 was the asking price when it had first hit the market, and it hadn't sold yet. So it was actually marked down. They had reduced the price from $225,000 down to $190,000. But my girl could only get her loan for like a maximum of like $175,000 or something. It included taxes on the house, which are usually around $5,000 a year or something like that. So we had to be able to get something for around like literally like $170,000. And for the loan that she wanted to get, she could not get a manufactured home. So we could not get her a trailer, no matter how hard, no matter what we wanted to do, because she was eligible for an FHA loan. But the FHA loan was only going to give her up to $120,000, and we weren't able to find anything for less than $140,000. So that wasn't roach infested, like disgusting, like unlivable. Okay, but they needed something livable, so I needed to get them something livable. We were able to offer $160,000 on this house that was $190,000 with her USDA loans. We were able to get that for them, and I was really, really, really excited about that. And that was with a brand new credit situation. So it can be done, all right? And I know people that can help you do it, okay? But let's talk about saving for all that important down payment money. And here are some effective strategies that can help you build your savings account. So, and I'll tell you that when I was in my early 20s and I was broke as a joke and living hand to mouth and living on my credit cards too, and just had to fucking stop buying shit. Just stopped. I literally like almost became like a monk, like off the grid kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you stop spending money? You just fucking do it. Okay? Like, I promise I will not buy anything from fucking anywhere forever unless I write it down, right? So like maybe have like a dedicated shopping list stuff. So actually just the last couple of weeks or like a week ago, I went on like a little bit of an Amazon spending spree, And then my husband came up to me and he was like, you need to stop spending money. I'm like, okay. So you want to have a financial manager. You want to have somebody that's like a teammate, okay? So it's either yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, and you make a deal with yourself in the mirror, okay? But you want to set a clear savings goal. You really have to determine how much you'll need based on the price range of the homes that you're considering. For instance, my lady that got that USDA loan, she had a 0 down loan, which means that she had a 0 down payment, which means that she had $0 that she had to spend when we bought the house to give to the mortgage company in an act of good faith, right, as a deposit. However, we still had to put a $1,000 deposit down on the house when we bought the house. And I might have put it in there for $500 because they were so poor that they had like no money. And she like literally had to like borrow the money from someone else. And then we put them down for a $500 down payment. And then for some reason they got a fucking $1,000 check from their aunt or some shit. And I was like, why did you get a $1,000 check when we only needed $500? Anyways, so then they they gave the escrow land title company, they gave the title company a $1,000 check, and they were like, okay, cool, but we're going to use the second $500. We can't give you change. I think they wanted change. But then the title company was able to hold on to that extra $500 kind of like an escrow additionally. And they used that towards closing. And then I think at closing, we were able to do something. And we ended up like getting them money back. I think they got like $200 back at closing. So we were able to like really mess with that. And I don't want to say like we messed with it. It wasn't like illegal. Okay. It was like totally above board. It was totally normal. All right. I'm saying I have creative people that I work with that are helpful. Okay. So we were able to make it work. And that was really, really, really exciting. But you got to figure out like how much you need, because based on what kind of loan you get. All right. So like not everybody's going to get a USDA loan for a tiny house in the middle of nowhere. Okay. That was in Satsuma, Florida. And it was an hour away from St. Augustine. But it's a cute house. It was. They got an acre of land, no HOA. I'm really proud of that deal. But if you're looking at homes that are priced at around like, say, maybe $300,000, okay, you might need a 20% down payment. What's that? $60,000. You want to open, if you can, well, you should definitely just fucking do it. Just do it. Open a dedicated savings account. Okay. My sister does this, and it works out really well for her. I have my own savings account, and I have my own IRA, Roth IRA, I think, or traditional IRA, or both. Might have both. My husband takes care of that, so I don't have to worry about it. But he's my finance guy. But listen, if you open a savings account, you should consider a high yield savings account specifically for your down payment. Online banks often offer higher interest rates than traditional banks. So you want to look for accounts like Ally Bank or Marcus by Goldman Sachs have good accounts. So if you set up a dedicated savings account, then you can have money that automatically goes into your savings account every so often, and that would be good for you. And then you can set up some automatic transfers for your savings account on a monthly basis, or every time you get a paycheck, something like that would be really good. And treat it like a bill that just must be paid. For example, if you need to save $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. It's going to take 10 years to get to your 60 grand, but it'll be worth it if you hit that number and you get that savings. You got to review your spending habits, okay? Identify areas to trim expenses. For example, if you spend $100 a month on coffee, I actually just joined the Panera Sips Club, and it was like $120 for a year of drinks every day. Every day you get a drink. And sometimes I feel like I can get multiple drinks every day. So if I wanted a hot coffee and then like a fountain drink or like a lemonade or some crap or whatever later in the day, sometimes I can go back and get a second one. So I like the Panera Sips Club. This episode brought to you by them. But like, if you go to even Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, like these drinks are costing like $5 or more each. It is insane. I just got a cortado yesterday at Parlor Donuts in St. Augustine, and a cortado is almost like a miniature espresso with milk in it. It's supposed to be with like a really heavy cream, but these fucking places don't know how to make a fucking cortado. Anyways, thanks a lot. But it was $4 plus tax for that drink. Yeah. So it's insane. And I just bought a Nespresso from Costco, and it's a Vertuo Nespresso. It's like a kind of small one, whatever. But it was $189 plus tax. And then I have to buy all these fucking pods, the Nespresso pods on the Nespresso website. All the pods run between like around $1 or more each. So then I had an espresso machine before that lasted me about 5 years, maybe 4 or 3. I forget. We'll say 3 because I can't remember. You know what? I think I got it in 2019 and then it broke 2 years ago in 24. Yeah, 5 years, whatever. So if I have my Nespresso for, we're just going to say 3 just for fun, but $189 divided by 3 years is $60 a year divided by 300 days, 30 cents a day-ish for my coffee, plus $1 per pod, whatever. Some of the pods come a little bit smaller, so you end up using 2. But anyways, if you can make coffee at home, it's way cheaper. But you know, I've got to admit, Kookaburra Coffee in St. Augustine, Florida, I'm calling you out. I buy it by the bag. Why is it fucking $12, $15 for a bag of fucking coffee? Like, seriously, it's like still costing me like $1 or $2 like per serving that I make of the Kookaburra coffee. So like sometimes it's not that much cheaper. Like some of these places that are like more gourmet, whatever. But honestly, Kookaburra, do better. Your coffee sucks. I fucking hate it. It's disgusting. Anyways, so if you're spending any money at Kookaburra, just stop. Consider brewing coffee at home and saving that money for your down payment of your house instead, where you can make your own coffee and set up your own little barista section in your house. My friend Sarah DuPont up in Massachusetts made the cutest little bar at her house. It was so Pinterest worthy. I loved it. If I had more space in my house to do like a coffee bar, that would be cool. I do complain about being a barista, so I kind of like low-key would not really want to have my own barista station at home because I want the barista that comes with it, and around here they don't. So, whatever. Dude, you could also do some side hustles. I know that most people around here these days always do some side hustles because we're all fucking ADHD anymore. So explore some side gigs or freelance work to boost your income, whether it's driving for Uber, selling crafts on Etsy, or offering tutoring services. Every little bit can help you reach your savings goal faster. Finally, let's explore some financial options that can help you specifically for homebuyers in Florida. There are some really great state and local programs that can assist you. One of my friends just got a house, townhouse, condo, something, but she purchased some property of some sort. I believe it might have been a condo. I haven't been there yet. I think it's condo, townhouse, right? But it's like a house. So she has her own house through the SHIP program. And I forget what it stands for. Maybe St. John's Housing Initiative Program, something like that. So she got $100,000 towards her home purchase. That was fucking amazing. I shit my pants. I was like, wow. So there's also the Florida Housing Finance Corporation that offers several programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance programs and low-interest loans. There are assistance programs where you could get a loan to get your down payment, but then you're getting a loan for your down payment and a loan for your mortgage. It's like double loan action. And then you have to pay PMI. So that's property, what's it called? Mortgage insurance. So you have mortgage insurance, especially if you don't have enough money for your down payment, because then you have like no equity. So then if something happened to your house, you need property insurance, the PMI insurance, the mortgage insurance. So programs like the First Time Homebuyer Program and the Florida Assistance Program, those ones kind of provide up to $15,000 in insurance assistance. And again, there's that SHIP program, and that one provides up to $100,000 in assistance. You have to be low income for that. So additionally, you can consider looking into the USDA loans, because like I had said, my customer that had a whole family with really, really terrible credit. But if you're considering could buy in a rural area out in like Satsuma or Crescent City out that way, then those would qualify for USDA loans, and those ones can get you zero down loans. VA loans, if you're a veteran, I can help you. If you're a veteran, my dad's a veteran, he got a VA loan. I know a lot about VA loans. I just closed a VA loan in January. That was fun. And that was a first-time home buyer too. My customer was 73 years old, buying his very first house with a zero down VA loan. And he also had very little in savings that were available to help him buy his house. So he put a $1,000 deposit down on the house too. And oh, maybe he's the one that got the $200 back or something. I forget. Or something. I forget. Either way, those two were very, very successful. Low dollar amount loans that we did recently that really made me feel good about myself. And I love doing shit like that. So seriously, I'm totally down. There are some people that are like, they don't want to work with that lower income bracket, whatever. I don't care. Honestly, like if you need that, I am happy to help you, because honestly, I learned a lot and it's cool to know that now. So working with a knowledgeable mortgage broker can also help you navigate different mortgage loan options. They can provide insights into FHA loans, VA loans, conventional loans, ensuring that you find the best fit for your financial situation. I have a bunch of friends that are mortgage people, and each one of them has their own specialty too. So depending on what you're looking for or what your situation is, I can point you in the right direction for somebody that's going to be able to help you the best they can. Then of course, like if they can't, get back to me and I'll try to find somebody else for you too, because that happened to me recently where I had somebody that I recommended to somebody and then they were like, oh, well, they don't qualify yet. And I'm like, oh, well, I think that maybe if they talk to somebody else, they might. And they did. So before we wrap it up, just let's take a moment to answer a really common question. What is the best way to improve my chances of getting approved for a mortgage? The answer is simple. Combine a good credit score with a stable income and a reasonable debt to income ratio. I've got another friend that's hoping to buy a home soon, but her debt to income ratio is really bad. She got a lot of debt. So the mortgage people are going to consider how much debt you currently have and how much you still need to pay off and how much the mortgage that you want to consider is versus your income. Because if you're already paying a lot of bills, how are you going to add another one, right? Like that's kind of like the mindset on that. Lenders really want to see that you have a reliable income and that you're not over leveraged with debt, okay? And I recommend that you keep your debt to income ratio below 36%. So that means if your monthly income is $5,000 a month and your total debt payments, including your new mortgage, should not be more than $1,800 a month. And earlier we were saying that like if you make $5,000 a month, then you should be looking at a mortgage for around $1,400 a month. So that would be an additional $400 a month in expenses. So good luck with that. I know these numbers seem daunting, and they are. And some people are able to make it work, and you wonder how, okay? You have to look at your own situation individually. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Other people do this, that, and the other thing. Some people are fucking retarded, okay? Don't worry about what they're doing. Just focus on this right here, getting your shit together, okay? And you have to have your own boundaries. So I know that for me, one of the hardest things is keeping up with the Joneses and seeing that Bobby Joe and Billy Sue, whatever, bought this thing. And now I'm like, oh shit, I want one too. Like, yeah, I want a lot of stuff, okay? I'm sure there's a lot of cool stuff in the world that you would want to buy. There's plenty of stuff to buy. There's plenty of stuff to want. There's plenty of stuff to need. You know, we need certain things, all right? And a house or a condo or a dwelling of some sort, your living place, your living space, the space in which you can relax, your safe space, is something that's super important. So if that is important to you and you want to have your own space that you can call your own, you might want to start thinking about a down payment, or get with me and I can see if any of my mortgage friends have any zero down options that you can consider too. But you still need a couple grand when you close. All right. So when you make an offer on a place, you need a deposit. That is money that needs to go immediately. And usually it's going to be 1% is what they want. And if you had a $300,000 house and you put down a 1% deposit, that's $3,000. All right. If you have a realtor like me that likes to fight, then maybe we can get you in there for 500. But the seller could always say no. All right. So it's always up to the seller to accept your offer. So we can offer whatever you want. I'm happy to help you do whatever the fuck you want to do. I have so much fun doing it and I want to do it. Let's go. So, good luck with your financial management. If you have any questions, let me know. I bought a house with 20% down back in 2013. And then I got this house here in Florida with almost 75% down. So I know how to do this. I've done it before and I've gone from zero to where I am now. And I'm not a genius, but I'm consistent and consistency matters. So make a deal with yourself, okay? Give yourself the honor and the integrity and the honesty to do it for yourself, okay? Love yourself, enjoy yourself, be yourself, create some balance, feel free to get crazy. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Balancing Unhinged. Remember, financial planning for your home purchase doesn't have to be overwhelming. With the right strategies in place, you can confidently take steps towards owning your dream home here in St. Augustine, Florida, or wherever it is that you dream of. If you have any questions or need any personalized advice, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me at shahofstaugustine@gmail.com. Be sure to subscribe for more tips on balancing real estate and financial wellness. Until next time, stay financially savvy and enjoy your journey. Bye.